This July will be actually 26 years as an owner. Super proud of that. Work real hard at it. You know, you got to give it every day. You got to be here. You got to be on top of everything. Fresh fish coming in. So it's every day you're ordering new stuff from, you know, from your shellfish to lobsters to flounder, tuna, all different types of stuff. So it gets pretty crazy. But I just want to let you know that we're going to go inside in a minute. I'm excited about today's program. I want to let you know that it is an operating fish market right now and restaurant. So you're going to see things going on in the background that we're up and running, and which is great. You know, the restaurant back in action finally after all these months with COVID. So I'm happy about that. But you're going to see a moving market, and you might hear some stuff in the background, so I apologize for that. Today we're going to feature. We're going to start with some lobster tails. Then we're going to make a crab, a jumbo lump crab salad. And then we're going to finish off with just some shrimp cocktail. People sometimes don't, believe it or not, think they cook this shrimp cocktail properly, but I'm going to show you the proper way. So let's go inside where the excitement is. I'm going to take over the phone and I'm going to do a quick display, and then we're going to get right to work. All right, thank you. Hang on. Let's go take a walk. Welcome. All right. Here's the fish market, my fresh fish display. Just want to show you a couple things. Salad case, all different types of cool stuff. Freezer, lobster tails, which we're going to be prepping in a little while. All different types of crazy stuff here. So let me move on. Hope I'm not making anybody seasick. And let's move over this way. Okay. Here we go. So we're going to start with our lobster tails today. What we have here is we have two different types of lobster tails. Dan, will you grab a lobster, live lobster? Okay. If you guys can see, let me zoom in a little bit. This lobster tail looks like this lobster right here. So, see the difference there? Very, very similar. The only difference right here is you can see the width. The width on this guy is a female tail, and that's a male tail, which I'm not going to get into really today. But what we have here is this is a cold water lobster tail. Obviously, cold water coming from up here, from anywhere from New York up north to Nova Scotia, Maine. So let's get this guy back in the tank. And then what we have over here is a warm water lobster tail. Okay, see a little different color. You'll see some speckled marks on it. And I know the first thing you guys are going to say to me is, what's the difference in flavor? And what I've noticed about these is just personal preference. Lobster tails, sorry, I keep moving into the screen. Lobster tails, they just personal preference. People like to have a cold water tail because they think they're eating something from up here, and some people like a really fancy tail from Brazil or South Africa, which is what this one is. This is a Brazilian lobster tail. So another thing about lobster tails is when you buy lobster tails from down south, you can buy them, like I said, Brazil, Honduras, South Africa. Lobster tails, they're almost like they're graded like a diamond, meaning that same with shrimp as well, meaning that this lobster, the meat on here, they'll grade it, and if it has any blemishes or a little bit of yellow to it, they'll rate it as like almost like a number 2 or even lower. And as a purchaser or consumer, you guys don't really know that, but as me as a purchaser, I want to buy something that is the best quality, because at the price of lobster per pound, I don't want any returns. So I want to buy myself the best lobster I can. Makes my customer happy. They'll be return customers, and that's what I go with. Brazilian tails is what my main tail. I'll buy a Brazilian #1 lobster tail. I'll sell a lot of these, and they're the most desirable. I feel we do sell a lot of local tails, but my Brazilians I do sell more. So anyway, let me get into it a little bit. So now what we're going to do is we're going to prep these. Now, first things first, when you buy a lobster tail, most times a Brazilian lobster tail, it's going to be frozen. Could you grab a frozen tail for me, please? Most times when you purchase a tail like this, it's going to be frozen. So people get all nervous. Oh, well, it's frozen. Can I eat it that day? And sure enough, we can, when we have orders for these, we prep it within, 20 minutes. So all you really need to do with this tail is just put it in some cold water. If you're going to eat it later on the day, put it in a bowl and put it in the fridge. You always want to keep it at that cold water temp. Okay, so now here is another warm water tail. This is how we sell them frozen. See, it's rock solid right now. And that's how you would find it. So you take this thing, if you're going to eat it tonight, you take it and you throw it in a bowl in your refrigerator. Or if you're going to eat it right now, throw it in a bowl of lukewarm, cold water, and it'll defrost in no time flat for you. So never be nervous that it's just because they're frozen, you can't eat it today. It definitely not like a steak. A steak takes a long time to defrost. These take no time. So now what we're going to do is we're going to prep these tails. Okay. We're going to prep these tails. We're going to cook them, and then we're going to come back to them later on in the show. So the first thing we're going to do is very simply is we're going to take a pair of scissors, and what we're going to do is we're just going to cut. Let me make sure I can see. Yep. We're just going to cut the top of the tail only, all the way down to the bottom. Pair of scissors is all you really need. You can use a knife, but it could be dangerous. Okay, hang on. Let's do the other one for me as well. Am I good? Crystal, will just shake your head. Is my camera good?
Yes, you're perfect.
Okay. So now here's my local tail. We're just splitting it all the way down. Keep going all the way down to the end of the tail. Good. So now what we're going to do is just pick one of them up, and we're going to point our fingers underneath it, thumbs on the inside. Sorry. Slowly break it open. We're not going to take it all the way out. Now we're going to pick up the meat in the middle. You're going to wiggle it back and forth and pull it up on top of the shell. You lay the shell down on the countertop. Spread it out like that. Spread your tail out. Make it look all pretty. Yep, and that is a pretty looking tail right there. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing with the local tail. Now, sometimes local tails can have less meat. Sometimes they can have more meat. That's another reason why I stick with the Brazilians. But some people look for the local tails. So I go with both of them. This way we have both on hand. So he's cracking open. And it's not the easiest job in the world. Just a little pointer for you. We do this here. So for, per tail for like a couple cents, we'll do this for you. It's Christmas time, we just prep so many tails like this. Same thing. He's going to wiggle it back and forth. Very nice, Dan. Puts it down on top. Spreads the tail. Yeah. How's that look? Nice looking tails. Now the meat looks very similar. The meat looks very, very similar to me. Maybe it's just a little bit darker on that one. But again, personal preference on flavor, on taste. Another thing about lobster is some people say that the bigger the lobster, the firmer they get. I have never encountered that, but some people say they do. I've never really encountered it. So, okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these. Let's get a sizzle pan. We're going to take these and we're going to bring them over to our chef in the kitchen. Now, it's not easy. Everybody gets nervous when they're cooking shellfish. There's no reason to get super nervous. We're going to do it. We're going to keep it right, nice and simple. Okay, put them on there like that. Very good. Thank you. And we're going to take it over to our kitchen. Bring it over to our chef. And what he's going to do is, how are you, Santos? Okay, how are you? Good. Could you set those up for me? So he's going to put a little bit of garlic oil on them. A little shake with some granulated garlic, some parsley, oregano, and basil. And a little touch of paprika. A little bit of butter. Again, there's an active kitchen going on here right now. You can see all the tickets hanging right now, so we're just in his way for a minute. And he's going to put a little vegetable stock underneath it right there, just to keep it moist. And a touch of wine. Very simple. It's not a hard recipe to go. And then right into the oven. Yep. So lobsters like that, going to take about, what do you say, Santos? About 20 to 23 minutes, and we'll come back in a little while. So let's come back over here. You want me to do some salad dip? Okay, so while that's cooking, we're going to do, we're going to do a lobster dip. Okay, come on over, Diana. All right. And I'm sorry, a crab, jumbo lump crab meat dip. Yeah. The recipe for me, please. Okay. So we sell a couple different types of crab meat here at the store. We sell, let me show you what we got here. Come over here. We got some crab meat over here, Dan? Okay. So what I have here on my case, I have claw meat, which is obviously chunks of claw from a blue claw crab. Okay. Now, there's all different types of crab meat depending on, there's all different types of crab meat depending on where from the crab you get it from. So this is called lump, if you can see it here. Lump. Okay. So you'll see the difference now in this meat. Big chunky white piece is definitely great for making Maryland crab cakes. Now that's lump. There's also jumbo lump, which is from another part of the crab. Jumbo lump is pretty much the highest. You see some super lump out there also, but jumbo lump is going to be your most expensive and your highest in demand. The reason for that is only 2 sections of jumbo lump in a crab. And then there's sections of lump, then there's sections of claw, back fin, and special. So you'll see all different types of crab meat for sale. But this is lump or jumbo lump is really what you'd like to have if you're going to make a nice salad, a dip, or anything else. So we're going to go with this one here. Now you want to work with this with me? So, okay. All right, so let's go with a little recipe here. This thing out of the way, please. Thank you. Okay, so sorry, first things first. Read it to me, Mom.
1 pound of jumbo lump crab
Okay,
meat.
we're gonna go with again. This is lump. We're gonna go. This is lump instead of jumbo lump. We're gonna do 1 pound. Okay. And then we're gonna do some celery, about 1 stalk. Yep. Very nice. The celery you want to cut into little diced pieces, and we're gonna do about some scallions, maybe like a stalk or 2 of scallions. So it says 4 teaspoons here on my recipe here, but I'm gonna chop this up for you real quick. We'll see what a professional looks like when he chops some scallions real quick. Give me 1 second. I just feel my chef in the kitchen. Very nice. Nice fresh scallion. Always makes your flavor pop. Looking good, looking good. So we'll throw that in there. Thank you. Then we're gonna do after the scallions go in, we're gonna do about 1/3 of a cup of mayonnaise. Yep. About 3 tablespoons of sour cream. I figured you guys didn't want to see me measuring it all, so we pre-measured it for you. And you can always, some things that you like in here, say you like extra scallions, is no recipe's ever written in stone. You can always put a couple of extra scallions in there. If you like celery, you can put more celery. And we're gonna do a little bit of freshly squeezed lemon juice. Have you have a couple of pieces of lemon over there for me, please? Oh, you have the lemon. I didn't even see that. Okay. Drop it. We're gonna do about a teaspoon of lemon juice. Now, lemon is great in there. Yep. Beautiful. Very nice. And then about a 1/2 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Yep. Now, yep. Was that the tarragon? Okay, a little bit of tarragon I'm going to put in there. It says a teaspoon, but I always go light on this because something like this can really overpower. And same thing with it also asks for some salt and ground pepper. But salt is an item that especially we're doing a lot of saltwater products. You always want to be careful with your salt first, meaning that anything salt usually a lot of times has it in already. So we're just going to go extra light on our salt, and then we can always add more salt later for flavor as to taste. Okay. Now, this is a lump crab meat salad. So you can take this, you can put it on crackers, you can take it, you can put it in a lobster roll. What do I got there? Oh, and my red pepper, my black pepper. Very nice. Yeah, good, perfect. Really nice. Yep. Some people like to, you know, a little change from a lobster roll. The price of lobster roll is insane right now. So this is a great alternative. This is also great for a dip, a spread, and the flavor is amazing on it. I wish you guys can smell it because I can smell from here. It smells really nice. Let's, how about we put that on a, you busy in the kitchen?
Yeah,
Okay, okay. Yeah. All right, so if you see this here, it's hard to see closely, but all chunks of lump in here, really nice. Just a little bit of scallion, a little bit of celery, and the flavor should be popping on this right now. So again, we can use this on a lobster roll. You can do it as just a salad. So you could take this. Yep. There you go, Santos will do it for you. A little lettuce on there. Nice summertime, cool salad. And the price is right. You know, the lump goes from, you can find lump for anywhere between $20, $25 roughly right now. Nice cold salad, that's beautiful. Really nice. Good job. Let's save a little bit of that right there. Maybe we can make a lobster roll with that. A crab roll with that. All right. You can jump back to the kitchen. We'll go on to something else and we'll be back with you in a sec, Santos. Thank you. All right. So we'll come back to that. That's really pretty right there. Okay. So let's come over to here. Basic shrimp. Okay. So shrimp, I get shrimp from all over the world. Okay. But these shrimp here, these are from either Ecuador or West Coast Mexico. Okay, these are white shrimp, just like lobster tails. Like I was telling you before, there's grades of shrimp. Okay, shrimp are graded the same thing: blemishes, how nice and white they are, nothing on the shell. The more they have on it, the worse they are. So there's different levels of shrimp. There's white, there's pinks, there's ambers. I know you've all heard of tigers. You know, tigers are actually the bottom of the line. So your white's your best. Any fish markers not carrying white, they should be. You know, they could be carrying white. Sometimes you'll find some local pinks or something. Local, when I say local for shrimp in the United States, a lot of stuff doesn't come from the United States. The local stuff, some people buy local, but a lot of times the imported is always a little bit better. This does come in frozen. And but we're gonna go real basic with this. What I'm gonna link later on to this is that we can take this shrimp, chop it up, and make the same salad that we did with the lump salad, and now you have a nice shrimp salad. You know. So what we're gonna do here is we clean shrimp by hand with a deveiner. So keep it on the table. He goes right underneath the shell, pops it all the way through, pulls the shell off. And you see that little vein? It pulls the vein right out of there. Good job. Let's do another one. Very basic tool. Some people use knives, but we clean hundreds of pounds, and this is the easiest thing in the world to do. Pulls out the vein right there. Yeah. Also, we do offer the shrimp cleaned here as well. Most places do. But you know, you want to do this. You want to buy shrimp yourself, either cleaned or uncleaned, fresh, and do it the right way. This way you have great flavor. Because there's nothing more embarrassing than put out a shrimp platter at a table at a party, and you can see that it just doesn't go because it's smelling up the place, or it just doesn't look appetizing. And you could tell. I'm not going to mention names, but when you go to places and you'll see a shrimp platter on display, and the meat looks like it's been frozen. When you see the shrimp laying on the platter, it makes a big difference. You know, we also sell cocktail sauce here, but make your own cocktail sauce. Cocktail sauce is easy. A little bit of white pepper, a little bit of obviously ketchup, horseradish. We actually use a horseradish extract just to give it a little extra kick, but we don't want it not enough to really hurt anybody, but just to make it fun. And yep, great job. Well, come on. Please step around that. Willie, get that out of there, please. Sorry. That's twice. All right, so that's nice. Good job. So what we're gonna do is one more right there. We're gonna boil off the shrimp. Now, I know it seems like this is so elementary, boiling off shrimp, but it takes a good trained eye to cook shrimp the right way, not too long, not too short. And then the trick is, I'm going to show you guys the biggest trick, is an ice bath. Can I have an ice bath, please? Mom, we got water ready? Okay, so what an ice bath does is as soon as we think that that shrimp is done cooking, okay, we drop it right in the ice bath. And it stops from cooking and gives it that crisp snap to it. And I know it's so basic, but so many people don't do this, and they take the shrimp out of the water and they put it in the strainer, and the shrimp just sits there and cooks and cooks and cooks and becomes very, very chewy. So we got a little ice bath going. Let's get the shrimp over to my boiling water. And there is no set time. We always mix shrimp as we're cooking it, okay? And we're gonna eye it up. When we're cooking shrimp, when that head touches that tail, right about there, that's about when we're done. Okay, if you see your shrimp is kind of like that, and it's not cooked all the way, but if you see it really squished in, and it's cooked too much. So you want that head to just touch the tail, and then you want to drop it into that ice bath. So let's see if we got a spot in the kitchen. How are we looking in the kitchen?
It's ready to boil.
All right, I got the ice bath. Back to the kitchen. Just to see what's cooking in the kitchen, we got a nice piece of tuna seared with peppercorn. Lobster coming out of the water. Gotta love that. All right, let's get that shrimp going. This is my water? Yeah. Okay. Have a spoon, please. So my shrimp is gonna go into the water. Thank you. And we're gonna mix. I'm going to keep our eye on it the whole time. The reason why you mix is because they do cook unevenly. I know this is really basic, but mixing is important. Now, when you're mixing, you'll see that the tail is coming closer to the head every time. Getting that. Then you'll have a strainer ready. This way, when we're ready, we're just going to pour that water out and drop it right into the ice bath. And I'm cooking for about a minute now at this point, right? Maybe a touch less. And again, there is no set time because depending on the size of shrimp you're cooking, some take longer than others. A little bit more. You can see the heads are almost touching the tail. The water's almost coming back to a boil again. Let me lower that down a little bit. Right over the sink there. Over the sink with that strainer. Almost there. I know it seems real elementary, but we sell hundreds of pounds of shrimp, and to do it right is important. So now look, we're just about there. You could do one trick if you want. Dan, you want to check one for me? Okay. We're gonna check one real quick. We'll give a little slice right in the middle. Just take a peek. And we're translucent or we're pale white. We're pale white all the way through, so we are ready to go. Put it back in the water. One more stir to make it happy. And we're done. Into our ice bath. Right into our ice. So we'll come back to that in a little while. Okay. We'll let that cool for a few minutes and that will be ready to go. And then we're gonna do a little something with that shrimp also. So let's go take a quick peek on our lobster tails back into the kitchen in a second. How are we looking on lobster tails, Santos? Woo! Look at those. How are we looking? Almost there? Under the broiler for a minute? Yeah. So we're gonna throw it under the broiler for 1 minute just to crisp the top up, make it look pretty. Okay. Then we're gonna plate that up for you. Santos is in the process of cutting a nice piece of seared tuna right here. Take a look at it if you want. Very nice. Very nice. All right, we'll come back to the lobster and to the lobster tails in a minute. Okay, Dan? Yep. Let's get some gloves on and we'll lay out the shrimp. Crystal, we're good?
Okay. Yep, everything's great.
Okay. Okay, put a piece of paper down for me. Now I just want to show you the shrimp real quick and we're just gonna do a little quickness with the shrimp. Sorry, there's a lot going on in the kitchen, so everything's delayed a little bit. Okay, lay your shrimp on there. That's a nice looking shrimp right there. Now you see the color? If you look at the color on the shrimp, you got some nice red to it. You got some real color to it. That's what you want to look for. If you go to a supermarket and you see those shrimp rings, you want to see that liveliness to the color of the shrimp. Just warning you, that's the difference. And if you do it yourself, you really get some good flavor out of it. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna make one shrimp cocktail ring. If you want to grab that, Dan. And then in the meantime, we're also gonna prep a tail. Just give me a moment. Get another hand here. So on this one, I'm going to pop the tail off. You can actually squeeze the edge of the tail. You want to do that for me? Thank you. You want to film for me? Yeah, right. So what I'm going to do with these, this one's like the shrimp. We're going to make this one into our salad. Okay, I like to fillet them first. Boom. Nice and filleted. Boom. Nice and filleted. And then you can chop them up. You can do that same thing, same salad that you did before with your lump. Now you made a nice shrimp salad. Okay. We're also going to make a nice little shrimp cocktail. Shrimp. We do this with gloves on when we're serving for customers. I'm just doing it for a demonstration right now, just to make that clear. Make it look nice. You know, you can do this at home on your plate, whatever. Make you get your cocktail sauce. You know, look real nice. In 2 seconds, you make a gourmet meal. Make yourself look like a professional. Lemon in there. You got yourself a nice shrimp cocktail. And when you bite into this, you can put it up with me a second. Josh, let me dip it. Okay. Dip it. When you bite into it, you're going to see a snap. That's a real cocktail. That's a real shrimp cocktail right there. All right. So let's go back to our lobster tails in the kitchen. How's the salad doing over here? Salad looking good. Santos, how are we looking on our lobster tails? All right. Okay, cool. Prepping a couple of lobsters at the same time. Again, these are northern lobsters, cold water lobsters. Southern lobsters, the Brazilian tails don't have claws. But you see these things have claws. So these are your northern lobsters. That's one way of knowing. You ever see them catch a lobster down south? They got the big antennas but no claws. So that's a warm water lobster tail. It's making those look pretty for the customers right now. Very nice. All right. Up. Very nice. Now we're going to plate our lobster tails. Now, same thing with this lobster tail. If you take these lobster tails and say you eat 3/4 of it and put it in the refrigerator, use that meat for something else. Wow. So that's my warm water tail. That's my cold water tail. They do look very similar. Just putting a little bit of the juice on top that he cooked it with. And always based a little bit. So with those sandals, what we do about 25 minutes on these, right? Roughly 20, 25. And I always like to cheat. I do like to do one thing to cheat. Just give me a little cut right down the center, Santos. 1 second. I just want to show you guys one thing. I always like to do a little cheat and do a little cut just to make sure. And you want to see that translucent. I mean, you want to see that pale white. Spread it out, Santos, please. Spread it out. Yep. Spread it out. Yes. See it? You want to see that white all the way through. If you see translucent, again, it's not cooked all the way. Those are cooked perfectly. Now we're going to put some butter on there. And all the employees are going to be fighting over these lobster tails, and we're done here tonight. Yep. Very nice. Beautiful. Thank you. And can we do a lobster roll real quick for with the crab meat? Okay. Oh, I wanted to do the roll now. I want to see the roll get done. Nice job. Very good. So now we're gonna do one more thing for you. Is I want to toast the roll for the lobster roll. Not for the lobster roll. We're gonna do it for the crab meat roll. Yeah, I want to use a new one. Okay? There we go. A little sliced on top. Some butter on there. Nice bun. I'm just going to golden brown the inside. Some nice butter there. Get that plate nice and hot before you do it. This way, what you do is golden brown it and you'll be all set. Check it in a second. Another minute, right? So get there. Okay. Ah, beautiful. I'm going to take our lump crab meat salad. And so you use for your average roll, use about 1/4 pound to 1/3 pound per person, and it goes a long way. So that's a delicious looking roll right there. Thank you, Santos, so much. You're welcome. Yep. Okay. So that's about it. I definitely love. I've been doing this so long. I got a million answers for you. If you guys want to ask me some questions, let me turn the camera around if I know how to do that. There we go. Thank you, guys. Thank you. And any questions, please? If Crystal's ready, I can do that if you like.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much. And you kept saying that it was simple with the shrimp cocktail, but I didn't
Yes.
realize that like the head had to meet the tail and that was done. I just looked to see if it was pink, you know?
Yes. I mean, that's fine too. I mean, whatever way you do it get done. Some of my employees ask me, how do you fillet a fish? I said, well, there's no specific way to fillet a fish. As long as you get all the meat off the bone and your customer is, you made that fish proud, then that's what you do. That's fine. But
Good.
yeah, checking the meat, making sure it's cooked all the way through, head to tail. But the biggest trick is the ice water. We don't cook 1 pound of shrimp here without ice water bath afterwards. Yeah, because it just makes sense. It just sits there and it keeps cooking. Like think about a steak. If you want a steak rare and you cook it rare and you serve it to your spouse, and then next thing you know, they're eating it, and it's half raw, half cooked, because it just sits there and continues to cook. So you want to stop that shrimp at the state exactly where you want it, so it's snappy and really has a good flavor in the mouth. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
If anybody has questions, feel free to put them in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself. I've got a few waiting, but I'll let you guys have a crack at it. No pun intended. I was curious to know, like, where can you get a standard deveiner? Like, do they just sell them at the regular grocery store, Amazon?
At the grocery stores, some of them, if they really specialize in their seafood, then you'll see it there. Most fish markets will have it, and definitely online. You'll see all different kinds online. Some work better than others. Those are the ones. The ones we have there are plastic. They do break on us, but they just seem to work the best for us. We've been using that brand for years. It's just a basic deveiner. Let's see. I think I got one right here. Oh, let me see. I got to flip my camera around. 1 second.
Oh, nice.
Yep. You see, and what it does is it's skinny, and it just gets fat. And when it gets fat, it just peels the shell away from the meat. Yeah. And this is from Morty the Knife Man. He's down in Florida. He sells all different types of knives. Some of you might even have heard of him before. So, yeah. But yeah, you can find those at most fish markets and some supermarkets.
Great, thank you. And also, I know you mentioned with the lobster that you can kind of, like I call it, flash thaw them by just like putting them in cold water. Is there anything like with food safety that you're like not supposed to do that? Because I see like.
Well, that's why I said to you, if you're gonna do say if you're gonna take a tail and you're gonna buy it in the morning, you're gonna cook it at night or the next day. That's why I say put it in the fridge. The fridge will keep your temperature between 40 and 43 degrees, and it'll keep it at that cold state where it doesn't get to room temperature. Because if you take it out and you leave it on the counter all day, then yes, you can. Then that's when foodborne illness starts. Anything above 45 degrees starts bacteria growth, and then yes, and then you can have a problem. That's why I said to you, if you're not going to eat till nighttime, take it, put it in a bowl, put it in the fridge. The reason why I say put it in a bowl, because if you just put it in the fridge, then you're going to come back to the store yelling at me that the thing leaked all over your refrigerator and it stinks in your fridge now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Got it. So if you're going to eat it right away, it's totally okay to just throw it in some room temperature water.
So yeah, yep. Some lukewarm to cold lukewarm. You don't want to cook it in that, because then you won't have that flavor of a real lobster tail, baking in the oven, as opposed to just cooking it, boiling it, almost like a boiled shrimp. Now with those lobster tails that we prepped, you can do that same thing. You can take those and put them right on the grill as you are. Cover the top probably a little bit longer because it's not direct heat. It'll probably take 25 into 30 maybe. You just got to watch them, and it'll bring up that grill flavor, which is real good. Or you could just take the meat off the shell completely, put your shell on the grill to get your color, cook it, put your meat on there, cook it, and then put it back on the shell when you're done. This way, you cook evenly all the way through,
Okay.
and you get that barbecue flavor.
Now, other than, I know when you overcook like shrimp or something, it's just chewy, right? Like, how else would you know if you overcooked it?
Yeah, I mean, one of your signs will be chewiness. Another sign, it could be actually start falling apart on you, because seafood, most fish is like made up of technically all water. So the more you cook it, the more it's going to shrink and start breaking apart on you. So if you have something that's actually breaking apart on you, and that's another sign that you cooked it too long. And then the chewiness as well is another sign. But lobster tails, yeah, lobster tails can definitely get a little chewy if you overcook them. Yeah. And definitely a good butter. If you're into your butter, a good butter goes a long way, So.
Who doesn't love butter?
Yes.
Anybody have any questions? I mean, I can keep going, but feel free to put them in the chat box. The dip that you made, the lump crab, would you be willing to share that recipe with us so that
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I can send it out? Great.
Absolutely. You want to do it now, or you want me to do it afterwards and
No,
give it
you
to
can
you?
send it to me later, and I'll email everyone who came.
Yeah, very basic. Some things we do hide, but whatever, things like that, just a basic dip. You can find some of that stuff online, very simple. But and then you can, again, there's no specific recipe to anything. You can make it how you like it, because the lump crab meat has so much powerful flavor and great flavor that you can just add the few things that you want to it and make it your own. A little bit of celery, a little bit of scallions. You don't have to put the celery in there. So
Okay.
yeah,
Now,
I'm not a
also-
celery person as much as I am my scallions. So I like my scallions, but
Good,
celery
good.
seems to go well with that kind of stuff, and it brings a little bit of flavor and color into your dip.
Awesome. Now, I recently had a hot lump crab dip. It was so good.
It was,
that-
huh?
Do you do anything
Yeah.
different or like not put in, the cream? I don't know.
Now, was it more of a white, or did it have the mayo in it?
I don't know. It was in one of those
Okay.
little crock pots. It was white colored.
It's like sometimes they stay away from the mayo on the hots, just because the mayo doesn't do well hot.
Right.
We do lobster rolls. We could do a lobster roll hot for you, and we'll stay away from the mayo for that. Or we'll do a lump roll, whatever. I just want to stay away from the mayo on it. But sure, that's delicious.
Got it.
There's so many different lobster rolls out there, and again, everybody's probably seen 15 to 20 different recipes, and it's just what you like. I want to keep it basic for my customers, and then have them enjoy the food itself. They don't need to be. People get afraid of seafood. They think they need to be specific, great chefs to do it. And I showed you 3 things that anybody can do anytime, very simply.
Great. And I'm curious to know, why don't warm water lobsters have claws?
Why don't warm water? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you ever see when they show like there's someone in the Caribbean holding a lobster, they're holding it by the 2 long antennas,
Okay.
So
No.
yeah, it's kind of weird, right?
Yeah. How do
Yeah,
they
I
defend
mean,
themselves?
Lobsters themselves is a whole nother story. They're very, very interesting, known females from males. Crusher on the right as opposed to a crusher on the left. It's just a whole nother species, like lobsters I could talk about for an hour because they're so dynamic. Yeah.
Wow. Very
Yes,
cool.
a cold water lobster has claws, and a warm water lobster does not.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. My last question is, how do you get rid of the seafood smell, especially from like the concrete if it spills in your
From the
your
what?
garage?
Oh no.
Is there a
Well,
trick?
Trick number 1 is purchase the seafood from a place that's busy. Okay. If you're purchasing seafood from a place that's not busy, the turnover isn't there. So number 1 item, you buy something and you want a few days out of something that you buy. So if you're buying mussels, anything, you want it to be able to go into your fridge in a bowl or something that doesn't drip on the floor, and hopefully it'll last a few days. So point number 1 is go to a place that's busy, that's reputable, and that specializes in seafood. I mean, that's what we do here. We specialize in seafood. We don't specialize in meat. We don't specialize in chicken. We specialize in seafood. So wherever you go to a place that specializes in your seafood. Is my point. Yeah.
Great.
Okay, so now if you do get the smell, bleach. Bleach outside. On your hands. Some of the girls at work here, they'll do lemon on their hands. Some stuff just happens to have a little bit more of a smell than others. We do a seafood stuffing. It's crab meat, scallops, breadcrumbs, celery, seasonings, and garlic and all that. It's just when you get it on your hands, it has the oil in it and everything else, and it gets in your hand, it smells all night. It's not the worst smell in the world. So, but it is seafood. So just buy your seafood from a reputable place first. Is the thing I should say the most. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a gratitude in the chat box. Thank you so much for the class. No, but last call for questions. Yeah, unmute.
I actually had somebody ask where we can eat, if we can eat his food at the fish store, and this is Seth from the fish store in Bayport for Margaret, who missed the first part.
Yep. Fish store in Bayport, and we do takeout, and we have a restaurant, so you can You can buy fresh fish, do it yourself. We can cook it for you, and you can take it home, or you can come and sit in our restaurant and eat. Yeah, thank you.
And it's very good. I've been there.
Thank you. Don't be afraid of any questions. I've been doing it so long. It's just I got a ton of answers for you, but I don't know how much. I don't want to bore you either. Also, another thing, I just want to a lobster. Let me just say something about a lobster. You ever see on a video on TV or anything when someone takes a lobster out of the tank and they're holding a lobster and their claws are hanging down low? It's hard to explain, but I'm going to show you right now. So when you buy a lobster from someplace, you want that lobster to be fresh. And you say, how can I tell it's a fresh lobster? Because he's alive, right? So let me turn my thing around. Come over to my tank here. And I'm going to show you what a fresh lobster should look like when you pick it up. Now, I'm not going to show you yet, but I'm just going to say, when I pick up this lobster, his arms should go back behind his head immediately. So let's see what happens. The lobster. Come on, you. Don't make a fool out of me. It's a little cold. That's it. Try another one. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
so
arms will
cool.
be- yeah. What he's doing, he's healthy. Another one. See that? Arms back. Arms back. See that?
Oh.
Just a sign that your lobsters are healthy. So, I mean, every once in a while you see one, but as long as they're alive, they're healthy. But another indicator will be, let me come back to it a second, is the antennas. A lot of times if the antennas, let me show you. A lot of times, come back to the tank a second. He got his full antennas there. You see them on the front? Sometimes lobsters could have no antennas. That means they've been penned for a while, and the other lobsters will actually eat the antennas off of the other ones. So that means he's sitting in the tank for a while. You want one that has arms back, full antennas, ready to go, and he's ready to go into a frothy hot spot.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. If nobody else has any more questions, I guess we'll let you get back to your busy market over there.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the time, everybody. Hope everybody enjoyed it. I'm always here. You can always ask me any questions. And don't ever be afraid to walk into any seafood market and ask questions. Everybody behind the counter has been doing it a long time. If they don't have the answers for you, then you might not be in the right spot. Ask questions, and if they don't have the answers for you, then have them ask somebody else. When you come into a fish market, no matter what it is that you're purchasing, you want it to look like you want to eat it. You want it to be bright, healthy looking, not dull. So purchase with your eyes for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. This was great. And again, we will have this up on our YouTube channel in a few days or so. So be able to watch it again and replicate some of the recipes and stuff that we did.
Cool.
So thank you, everyone. Have a great night. Be safe.
Thank you.